Start by what we do, we call pull down the heavens. You're going to breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, gather energy from the earth, from the heavens. Breathe out, have it spiral through our body. Breathe in, expand, that's yang energy, compress. It's yin energy, so that we're doing the Taichi symbol here. Breathe out. We'll do one more. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, we're going to do just a few. Usually we do 5-10 minutes of warm up, but we're just going to do a few just to get our body a little bit warmed up. We usually do, this one's called Shake the 9 Gates. It's trying to get energy, break up any adhesion in our body so that energy and blood can flow through our body while we're practicing. Get more out of our practice. So first we start by shaking, trying to get blood to go to our fingertips, and now we're going to start shaking our whole body, and our muscles should be going over our bones, skin going over the muscles. This is to break up any adhesion in our fascia. We're going to bounce up and down slightly. You're bending your knees. You want your hips going up and down. And your shoulders go up and down, then drop down. If you were making a sound, you'd hear the little vibration going through our body. We just try to, then we turn side to side. That kind of trying to get our internal organs, the stickiness out of our internal organs, the fluids moving around a bit. We're going to raise your hands and throw any energy we created. Turn your hands out, our arms out slightly so our armpits are open. We're just going to breathe in, breathe out. You might feel tingling in your hands. That's actually good. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, the second one is we're trying to warm up, separate the vertebrae. If you have any kind of spinal or disc problems, don't do this, but we're trying what's called a crescent pose. So somebody's pulling on your fingers, that's opening up your shoulder joints, and you come around toward a doorway, and you're pressing the sides of the doorway. So breathing in, and we breathe out. So you're not going up and down, we're going sideways because we're trying to get our spine into a crescent pose. You can look down at the bottom. You can look down, that'll warm up our necks. We want to get our necks relaxed and warmed up once again so blood can get to our brain. So you're going to breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So this is squeezing internal organs on one side, pushing out the stale energy and fluids that are in them, and then we're expanding. This is opening up our meridians, our nervous system, plus letting fluids flow back into the previously compressed organs. So just generally, and then we're trying to separate our vertebrae a bit, opening it up. So you're not twisting, we're going sideways, because if you twist, then you can actually cause some damage. You want to just lean and then look at the floor. Breathing in, breathe out. One more, breathe in, breathe out. And so the final one is, once again, this is working on opening up our neck, getting our neck muscles, and we want to make sure, like I said, the muscles are relaxed. We want blood flowing up to our brain. And so what we're doing here is we're turning, our hips aren't turning, so our waist is turning. And so you turn and you're looking, you're using your neck as following your shoulders. Right. And now you want to use, now that blood's going to our brain, we want to use that so when you look, you focus your eyes. That's using your brain. As fast as you can, you pick a point on each side. And then your hands are going back and forth. We're getting stickiness once again out of our internal organs, twisting. And then now we'll do a few more if you can. Now, if you're starting to get warmed up, have those 2 points you're looking at. Move closer and closer together until you reach your limit, or you can go all the way around and have 1 point that you look at. That's getting the maximum twist right now. A few more. All right, and we're going to do one more. So this one, we're going to reach for our legs. So if you have any kind of high blood pressure problems or concerns about dizziness or balance, when we reach for our legs, stop at your knees and keep your head up looking forward. You don't want to drop your head below your sternum if you have any of those problems, because you can build up too much blood pressure, and then when you come up, if you have low blood pressure, you'll pass out. And so, since I'm not there to catch you, you're in charge of your body, so you have to make sure that you're safe. So you go down just your knees. Otherwise, if you're not worried about those things, you can reach for your toes. So first, we're going to massage our hearts. Get some flexibility in your rib cage by gathering the sun. You look up, shoulder blades come together, and then as you come around, your shoulder blades come together. Now your collarbones come together. So we're expanding, contracting, we're massaging the heart, plus trying to get a little bit of movement out of the rib cage so we can breathe better. Your hands slightly across, then you pull your hands back, you rub under your ribs. There's a meridian there, liver 14. You're trying to activate your energy flow in your body, and then you put your hands on your kidneys. So that's gather the sun. Breathe in, breathe out. Do one more of those. Breathe in, breathe out. So now this movement's called gather the sun to press the earth. So the second part is we have our hands on our kidneys. We're going to do the same thing. You're pulling your shoulder blades together, and you're looking up, but at the same time, what you're doing is you're folding at the waist. So you're looking forward, and by doing this, you should feel some pull in your hamstrings. You're trying to stretch your hamstrings. That's breathing in, and now as we breathe out, your hands run down the back of your legs, and now you can curve your back. We're just hanging loose. We're going to breathe in once. Now you bend your knees. You don't want to hurt your back on the way up, and then your hands run up the inside of your leg on the way up. That's your natural chi flow. Down the back of your legs, up the front of your legs. Okay, so we'll just do 3 of these. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Bend your knees. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Put your shoulder blades together. Look forward. Head up, and now breathe out. Hands drop down, either to your feet or to your knees. Come back up. Breathe in, and then breathe out. We'll do one more set. Breathe in, gathering the sun. Breathe out. Now press the earth. Breathe in, look forward. Breathe out, hands down the back of your legs. Just hang here for a second, breathing in. Try to fill your body cavity up so you can separate your vertebrae. Breathe out. Okay, so that's our warm-up. So we're going to work on our Tai Chi skills. So the first part of Tai Chi is feet, waist, hands. So we're going to have in this case, we're going to have our feet about 1.5 shoulder widths apart. If you can, your toes are pointing forward. And we're going to do something called posting. So with posting, remember when you do feet, waist, hands, first your feet actually are moving your hips, right? So when you post to one side, because your feet are far enough apart, so you have your body over one leg or the other. So you post, okay, so I'll mirror you. So you post to your right leg, and then on the side that you're posted, your hip, knee, and ankle are straight. Your shoulder's not straight because your shoulder actually sticks out. So if you tried to, make your shoulder straight with that, you have to be be somewhat bent. So we're bending, we're just going back and forth. Hip, knee, and ankle are straight. Then try to, in this case, try to keep at our level. If you're new to this, you're trying to keep your head on the same level. So you're going to post to the other side, hip, knee, and ankle. The back leg, it's straight, but it's not locked. You don't lock it out. It's straight, because if you lock your joints, then energy, blood can't get through. Now we're going back and forth. We'll just do this for a few minutes. So this is the feet part. We're moving our hips, and you want to make sure you stop. There's a few things now. You want to make sure that your upper body is moving as a unit. So your hips, waist, and chest are moving as a unit. So you are not doing either of these. See, my hips are moving, but my body's not moving. Or this. I appear to be going back and forth, but my hips aren't moving. So this is your feet are transferring the energy to your entire body. Going back and forth. Plus, the other thing that you want to do is you want to stop here. If you go past this being a straight line, then what happens is you're off balance. And now if someone pulled, you'd fall over. You want to keep, that's why. So we're going back and forth. Don't worry, we'll get this seemingly simple part done in a second. So we're going back and forth. Now the other thing is you want your knees, like we're here in the middle, my knees are both slightly bent. When I'm here, one leg is bent and the other leg is straight. Okay, so what we want there is, by having your knees bent, well, for one thing, if our knees were straight, then I couldn't go forward. But so at least the weight, but if your knee's bent, then when your weight is on that leg, you're actually engaging the muscles and building up the muscles in that leg, including your ankle strength. And in Chinese medicine, you have three hearts. Your heart, your abdomen, where you breathe, is your second heart, because that's pumping fluids to your internal organ. And your third heart are your calves. Your calves are pushing lymphatic fluid up and out, fluids out of your lower body so they can be replaced. So you don't get big fat ankles if you're engaging your calves all the time. Plus you're pushing out fluids, and that lets fresh fluids, nutrients come in and oxygen with the blood. Just doing this. So even though this is a simple, this first part is actually a major part when you learn your Tai Chi forms. You want your body to be moving as a unit. Your feet transferring the energy from the strength from the earth into your body, and positioning your waist correctly. We'll just do two more. So cross. Remember, right now you're not coming up and down. At this point, we're just twisting. During some of the movements in Tai Chi, you do go up and down a bit, but it's still basically this. You want to end up, with the weight in one leg and the other leg straight. So back and forth. Okay, so this is the feet part. Now the next part is your waist. So now we've transferred energy from the ground and moved our body with it. So put your hands as if you're praying or saying namaste. So we're going to post to one side, and now what we do is we're going to turn our bodies to the corner. So we're turning 45, but we're turning our waist. Remember, it's feet, waist, hands. So we're not turning our hips. We moved our hips, and now we're turning our waist. If you move your hips, then a couple of things happen. First of all, you're putting strain on your knees. Now your knees are all torqued, so that's bad. We don't want to hurt our knees. But the other thing is, by turning, keeping our lower body's the mountain now, and the upper body turns, and that means that we're squeezing our internal organs. We're going to come back to the other side, post, so we can keep posting while I'm talking. So post, turn your waist. So you're pointing at that, turn, back. So we're going back and forth. This is also, it's like we're massaging our internal organs. It's like we're twisting, squeezing a wet cloth. So trying to get some energy to flow through there. So here we're just by doing this, if you did this for a while, you know, our knees are bent, so we're strengthening up our lower body, coordinating things, building up our proprioception, because we have to know because we have to know where our body is to stop. And we have to be able to control the separate parts of our body independently. So now we're using our waist and our lower body stops. Okay, so that's feet and waist. So the rule in Tai Chi is feet, waist, and hands. So now the interesting part is often you get this down and you think I have this down, but once you start moving your hands at the same time while you're trying to do this, it's kind of like doing this thing. You start to lose control of your body. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the easy one. We're going to have our hands flat and they're pointing out. We're also pulling our hands back, and we're trying to work as long as we're doing something, we might as well work our forearms. But we're here, our hands are on our navel, our thumbs are on our navel, and then we're turning. And so it's the same as this, except our hands are on our navel. So we're going to turn, twist, turn, twist, turn, twist. Okay, so now we're ready. Remember, I had put a list up of the movements we're going to do. The first one is turn the millstone. So what it looks, there's a millstone here, and so we're going to be turning the millstone. Remember, all these it was an agricultural society, so all these things, a lot of the names have to do with farming things. So we're here, we're going to post, we turn. Now, when we post back to the other side, here's what we're actually doing with our hands. Our hands are actually just going in and out. See, and it's staying on the level of our navel, because we're going to be, so our hands are doing this. But what happens is we post, we turn, and now as we go back to the other side, our hands go out. So our hands are basically staying in the same spot as our hips withdraw to the other side. So now we're here, we're posted to the other side, but our hands are out instead of touching our body. And then what happens is we turn our waist to point at the other wall, but because our hands aren't moving, our hands get moved by our waist. Remember, the hands are expressing what the waist is doing. So now we're pointing here, going to post back to this side and pull our hands in and then turn back. So we're back where we started. So we're going to post. As we post, our hands go out. Now our hands don't move relative to our body, but they move because our waist is turning, pointing at the other corner. Come back and turn. So 1, our hands go out. 2, our hands are out and pointing at the corner. 3, post back and pull our hands in. 4, and we're pointing at this corner again with our hands touching. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is turning the millstone. I'm going to do it a little bit faster so you can see that I'm turning the millstone. I'm here. This is what you're doing. So, but right now, if this is your first time, you can speed up. But if this is your first time, you want to make sure you're doing the whole thing. So you can start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so for homework, what you're going to do is you're going to start on the other side, pointing at the other corner, and you're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you get it so that you're doing the whole thing and you're comfortable doing it with the counts, we're doing Tai Chi. And Tai Chi, you never stop moving. So what will eventually happen is you'll be going 1, and then just as you get there, you're going to start turning. 2. Just as you get there, you pull in. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I'm going to expect everybody to have that down by the time I see you next week. All right. So why is posting and turning so important? Because there's a whole bunch of moves. We'll go over some of them right now. I'm just going to show you one. We're not going to do this one. Another one is called, remember, we're in a farming community. So the other one is they have silkworms, and they have their cocoons, and then you have to unroll the silk from the silk cocoon. So our hands are going up and down. So it's the same thing, but we're posting. We're posting, turning, going across, coming down. So we're spinning silk, right? We're not going to do this one. I'm just showing this one because we're going to do another one, which is more famous. But basically, my hand's just going like this, turning over and then coming back down. So I'm doing this with my hand, but because I'm doing my feet, waist, hands, this is what you see. Okay, so the next one, the one we're going to do, the famous one is wave hands like clouds. This is the one you usually see. That's this one. That's when you usually see people practicing. So what we're going to do here is what your hands are doing is, I call it sipping water. So your hand comes down. The hand that's coming up is on the inside. They pass over each other. See, but one of the main things is you're having energy flow up the center of your body from your navel to your head. So this is up your back and then down, down the front. So you're circulating energy on your central axis. All right, so this is what you're doing. You're coming up. You're just sipping water. This hand comes up, this hand comes down, scoop some water. You cut a drink, come down. So you're going between your navel and your mouth. All right, so I'll mirror you. So you're going to have your right arm up, your left. So your right arm is, you can have it over your throat right now, but throat height, and the other one's over your navel. So your left hand's over your navel. And so the hand that's up, that's kind of like, so your right hand's kind of pointing in that direction. Okay, so the upper hand makes an arrow, and that means that we're going to post in that direction. So we're going to post in that direction, our hands at the top, and now we turn, our hands have it, we're just doing the introductory movement. So we here, and then we turn toward the corner. So our posting is the same. Our hands are in position, we post to one side, and we turn our waist, just like before. So our hands haven't done anything. What we're going to do now is we're going to sip water. Oh, look. Now our upper hand's pointing in the other direction. So we're going to post to that side and turn. Now we're going to sip water because that was so hard. Oh, this hand says, oh, go over there. Turn, sip some water, follow the arrow, turn our waist, sip some water. So one thing, you shouldn't be seeing this, which is what, shouldn't be just, we're trying to transfer energy through and have our body, our hands shouldn't be moving by themselves. Our hands are always over the center. So here our hands are in the center because my body is pointing toward the corner, then my hands are over my center, but they're facing the corner. Sip the water, come back, turn, sip water, come back, turn. So we'll do like 3 sets. So sip water, post, turn, sip water, post, turn, sip water, post, turn, sip water, post, turn. So your hands should always be over your center line. So if I was standing, I guess it's this, yeah. So if we're standing here, see when I'm turned, at a 45 degree, my hands are still over my center line. And then, so when I sip, now I turn and post here. So post, turning back. When I'm sipping, my hands are going up the center line. This is important because my hands are expressing my waist. All right, so this is the same thing. You're going to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you should practice it with the counts. It's a 6 count here. So that'd be 1. So that'd be 1, 2. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're back where you started. So you want to do that to the counts until you have it down. And then once you get that down, you can just go through it because you don't want to lose the whole thing about your waist, your hips being moved, then your waist moves, and your hands are just kind of expressing what your waist is doing. It's moving, expressing the energy that's moving through your body. All right. Once again, your homework is to go in the other direction. I guess we're going in both directions. So in this case, it's symmetrical. But when you watch the Tai Chi forms, this is usually in the form as walking while you do it. We're not going to get in that today. So you're here. But this is doing our thing. We're building our lower body strength by having our legs bent, and then we're turning our waist. That's massaging our internal organs, and we're actually building our mind because we're learning where our body is. One of the reasons in Tai Chi you move so slowly is because you want to become aware of where your body is the whole time. When people start, they usually are just like moving their body around very jerkily, and so they're kind of not aware of it. You want to be aware of every second where your body is, so you build up some proprioception, so you understand, you don't smash into things, you can gently go through life. Okay, so the final one, okay, we run over, so we're skipping to the last one, which is, there's a set of movements called the Dao Yi, which are a little more complicated. We're just going to do one just to kind of show you that this feet, waist, hands is moved everywhere. Okay, so we're going to start, we post. So we're posting back and forth just like before. So we post and then we turn our waist. Okay, so what we're going to do is post and then we turn our waist. And what that does is that's throwing out our hand. So we post and then as we turn, our hand comes out. And see, it's staying level. We're picking up a teacup. And now we're going to post to the other side and turn and give someone the teacup. So that's the first part. So we're here. Post, turn, pick up a teacup, post, turn, serve the teacup. Come back, post, turn, pick up the teacup, post, turn, serve the teacup. All right. So what we're going to do now is, of course, it's getting more complicated because you have to do both sides. We're going to post. We're in a tea house. We're the host, so we're posting, turning, picking up the teacup, post, turn, give it to our guest. Now we're going to post back this way, and this is called turn waist to view the moon. So we're going to turn the waist. We want them to view the moon. So we post it back this way, and we're going to point at the moon. But of course, our arms just don't move because this is Tai Chi. What moves our arms? Our waist. So as we get our arm to go up by turning the waist. And then this is, we're making an arrow to point at the moon. So, but what we're doing is we want to go from our big toe in a straight line all the way up. So we want this to be a straight line, and you're stretching this way, but we got there by moving our hips. So that's stretching just like in the crescent pose. This is stretching this meridians here on this side, massaging our internal organs on the other. Okay, so then for right now, we're running pretty late. So we'll just bring this down. And now we're going to post to the other side, pick up the teacup, serve the teacup, post, and have them point at the moon. All right. Once again, so this is, we'll just do one side because we're running over. I try to keep it to a half an hour. So we'll just do this. So that's the problem with live TV, so to speak. So we'll just do the one side. So we can do, I'll mirror you, so you do your right side. So we're going to post. I'm going to post to the left, turn, pick up the teacup, post to the other side, turn, serve, post, and then push our hand up by squeezing, turning our waist. Now this is in a straight line, and then have them look at the moon. You're having them look at the moon. So just come back to the starting position. So post to the left, turn, pick up the teacup, post to the right, serve the teacup, point to the center, and view the moon. So you can do this. This is, I'll do the whole movement for you. So this is called, from the Tao Yi, it's called turn the waist to point at the moon. So you turn, pick up the teacup, point the teacup, point at the moon, and now you turn toward the corner, and then your hand comes and you pick up the other teacup, serve that, point at the moon. Okay, I'm pretty sure if it's not, I'll put it on the website, the whole movement, so you can watch it. All right, so that's all. So this is building up your proprioception, building up your leg strength, massaging your internal organs, working on your coordination, being able to move your body and your hands separately with a lot of whatever the thing that you're doing. So you want to have control over your body. So what we're going to do now is we're going to finish up the lesson. You can review this online. So you're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So you can expand, gathering energy, and then you can bend your knees and lower your hips to compress. Breathe in, breathe out. We'll do one more. Breathe in, breathe out. And then we say body, mind.